Good morning, everybody. It's Ginger here. Woo! Look at those spotlights. So glad you're here. I'm Ginger, your connection guide and solutionist. Oh, there, I gotta look at the camera. So this is my first live launch, so you get to see the hiccups and all, and I appreciate you being here. In my live studio audience, I have somebody off camera, my fabulous. There she is, Robin, good morning. My great filmmaker behind the camera, there's Sean. Sean, put a hand out so people know you're real. There you go. Woo, okay, got it, make sure the phantom isn't there. Well, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you to all of you who signed up and registered in advance for the 5-day connecting challenge. This is the kickoff of that, and I'm gonna do it in 3 segments. So there's gonna be 3 pieces for you to watch as you wish. If you're joining us after we've launched live, there's the clock telling us it's 8 o'clock. Actually, the clock is late, not a good connection. Anyway, if you're joining us afterwards, thanks for being here. Yes, I'm a little irreverent. So we're gonna jump right in. The first segment of the Connecting Challenge today is what I call the first move, or how to make a contact. So I'm gonna share stories and tactics today, and then we're gonna start with a mindset to help you become a comfortable and more confident connector. You ready? All right, I'm gonna take that as a yes. So let's go. Number 1, first move, how to make a contact. Connectivity is all about real relationships. It's all about meeting somebody, shaking their hand, seeing them, making eye contact. It's not online, it's not networking. We're gonna go into those later at a different time, but I can tell you that the first move is sometimes the biggest move you can make to make sure that you're moving forward and making contacts. Contacts lead to connections. So let's talk about mindset. Mindset is all attitude. I remember my dad saying, lady, you need to adjust your attitude. Like, it didn't happen. Okay, it did happen frequently. But it was good as a kid to grow up and really be mindful of my attitude. Mindset is really important. When our mind is open, we can do anything. And it needs to be open. It's a requirement to have an open mind in order to be a true connector, because true connecting is about giving of yourself and receiving in return. It's not woo-woo, it's just like, woohoo, I can do this if I've got it figured out. That's why I'm here. So the beginning of the connectivity is that first move. When we decide we're ready to go, we go. So here's the first story. I want to use stories and tactics to illustrate how connecting works and works well when you are thinking about it, when you're plugging in, when you've got that mindset. So I'm at the grocery store and I see something in front of me with that person with their stuff on the magic conveyor belt, those things. Are there mice under there? I don't think so. But what do I do if I see something that's interesting? Well, I might make an opening comment like, where'd you get those lemons? Did those olives, were they in aisle 2? Or, is that a new brand of ice cream? Something pretty low key, non-threatening, and specific. I do this all the time for a few reasons. One is I love to grocery shop. I love to cook. I love to have people over. The people in this room actually know that. You're in my kitchen right now. And so it's a natural area of interest for me. So it's something easy for me to talk about. And that's something to think about. So here's the tactic. Choose a topic you enjoy and are reasonably comfortable in talking about with essentially somebody who's a total stranger who you're seeing. You're making that first move. This is not creepy. This is not at the bar. The first move means that you've got that mindset and you're willing to make a first move forward in connecting with them. People like to connect with somebody who is talking about something that they're happy about, and that is contagious, and that's a good contagion to have. So think about that, something safe and non-threatening, easy to talk about. The second reason I make contact at the grocery store is that the line is full of really interesting people, present company included, and maybe I'll connect with one of them. Maybe I'll make a contact and then build a connection. It's happened more than once. The checkers, the vendors, the customers, whoever it might be, take your pick. I talk to all of them because, frankly, to me, everybody has a story and everybody is interested in sharing the story. So if I make that first move, I can make people feel more at ease if it's a topic about which seems pretty neutral. Lemons, fine, they might look at you weird. At the same time, you might find somebody who's a lemon farmer. Who knows? So doing that helps people recognize that you're out and about, and it also helps me when I shop at my local grocery store to get to know my neighborhood. That's also connection. Here's the tactic. Connecting in an establishment you frequent builds your neighborhood. It builds your world, it builds your life, it builds communities. Whatever you want to build, you can do that through connectivity. You look at the most powerful relationships in the world, both with yourself and with the larger part, and you think, wonder how that started. Guess what? It started through connectivity. It wasn't networking, it wasn't online, it was face-to-face, it was connecting. Somebody made a first move somewhere, and then it went from there. So if it's a local joint, more power to you. It's great, because then you get to know more of your neighbors again. I know a lot of my neighbors. My living room window is out there, and I'm happy to say I know a lot of them. That kind of connection to where you live is powerful. We'll talk about that in another episode. For the record, connectivity isn't about being pushy. It isn't trying to get somebody to engage if they're not interested. It isn't creepy. It shouldn't be confrontational. It should be easy and simple. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about what do you do after the contact, which is exactly tackling that piece of it. But for right now, we're simply making the first move. We're establishing contact to see if this is somebody we want to connect with. Connecting is done with purpose and on purpose, as I like to say. It's very intentional, and it doesn't have to be heavy or burdensome or somebody waving their finger saying, you should do this. It simply needs to be on purpose and with purpose. You're at an event, you say, that woman looks interesting. I think I'm going to go meet her. Maybe you know nothing else about her other than that's your first move. You're compelled because they look like they would be somebody you would like to meet. Whatever that looks like for you, that's a first move. So keeping it comfortable, keeping it on a safe topic, save the debate and the controversy for later. That happens way later in the relationship. I'm not saying shy away from those things. What I am saying, though, is when you're looking at first moves, look at something that's comfortable and familiar for you first, so you're confident and comfortable in connecting, and then that will radiate outward. So those first moves can be 2 sentences. It could be, did you get the lemons in the produce bin? The person could reply, yes, I did. And then maybe you're done. Guess what? That's still a first move. It still counts, so to speak. If it goes farther, yes, I did. Oh, well, I've been looking for them. Can you tell me where they're at? Yeah, you go around the corner, and I tell you what, I'm making this fabulous lemon pudding, tra-la, tra-la, tra-la. You never know where it's going to go. Maybe the interaction is a whole paragraph. Maybe it's a half hour. Maybe you really like this person, and you go have a beer or a cup of coffee or a cup of chai, in our case. Maybe you don't, but either way, you've exercised the first move. You're growing your confidence. You're growing your comfort level of learning how to connect better with people, one-on-one, in person, and live. Take your time. Those tactics of breathing, pausing, those are really useful too. So what happens once you make the first move? Where can it go? It can go anywhere. That's right, it can go anywhere. Present company in my studio today are great examples. I could tell stories on them all day long, but you're gonna have to come over to my studio. We'll share a chai and I'll tell you about it so you can tell me about your connecting stories. The beauty and the success and the magic of connecting is that it can go anywhere you want it to go. It's really pretty powerful. And who knows where it can go? Wait a minute, who knows? You do if you're a connector. So when you have that mindset, when you're open to the possibilities, you can do anything. Make sure that when you make that move, that it's comfortable for that other person, just like it's comfortable for you. So story number 2. I hope that somebody is tuned in.
Well, you have about 10 people tuned in right now.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Very cool.
People are allowed to comment as well.
Yes,
right?
I hope so. Yes, please, feel free. Let it rip. So story number 2 takes place in Austin, Texas. It's pre-dawn before a road race. Robin, are you a runner? Do you run?
Oh, heck no.
Heck no. No. It's
A walk?
A walk is good. Okay,
Yeah,
well, this was a run. And I was in Austin for business. That's a pretty common response. Those are not the people you're going to connect with, is it? So it's in Austin, Texas, pre-dawn before a road race, a running race. I was there on business, first time in Austin, great town, it's really beautiful. And I heard my name, Ginger. Okay, so since I usually hear my name in either a Thai restaurant or in the veterinarian's office, I figured this was on purpose. So there's either another Ginger in the crowd or somebody's shouting at me. Here we go, everything's possible, right? I turn around and there's Maya. So Maya, if you're tuned in, I remember that was such a great interaction. You're like, hey, and I had my shirt on and you recognized a shirt that we both share in common. And we chatted a little bit and then we parted ways and we went on to the road race. But what a great story of connectivity. It's so cool. Like, how many times has that happened to you in an airport or a grocery store or halfway across the world, wherever it might be, a road race? You're going to see somebody that seems random and unexpected, yet the more you connect, the more you allow yourself that first move to see if there's a connection to be made. So cool. The tactic to that was that Maya and I, in this case, We met years ago at a beer festival in Oregon. I have a feeling I was working in my booth with another branch of my business, and Maya came up very friendly. I don't remember the exact first exchange, but I do remember then seeing her at different events after the fact, and it was so great. I'm like, oh, she keeps showing up. You know, that's not just good for your ego, it's fun because somebody wants to keep connecting with you. So whoever made that first move in that first interaction with Maya and I, that's what it's built. Now she's halfway across the world, and she's still sending me emails, and it's great to hear from her, and I always respond. So that builds, all right, excellent, hey Maya. And that's an example, and that happens all the time if we let it. So if we have that open mindset and we let it roll and we relax, boy, everything can happen. These stories, you know, there's a lot of buzz about stories and storytelling right now. These are examples of stories. You've got your own, you've got hundreds. I would love to hear a couple. If you want to share, you can send them to me on my email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. The stories are what builds connections, and I love the stories. In fact, when I put my stake in the ground for connectivity, I thought, I bet I have a few connecting stories. And then I started thinking about everybody I know, and guess what? Every single one of them is a story of connectivity, and it's so fascinating. So whether it's a past relationship, a current relationship, there's a bunch of future ones coming up too, that's all about connecting. I remember being in airports across the world, turning around and seeing, you know, our backyard neighbor sitting there waiting for someplace else. So the divergence and the coming and going, you can call it the universe, you can call it woo-woo, you can call it coincidence, you can call it whatever you want. When you are a connector, those are super fun. I tell my husband every time we fly, I wonder who I'm going to see. It's not an if, it's a who. So it's really quite fascinating. It's a lot of fun. The first move then starts your journey into connecting. Practice your first moves in a familiar setting, something that's comfortable. In my case, going back to that grocery store, super easy for me, very familiar, very comfortable. Other people are there for food as well, so it's a common topic. You can assume. Be relaxed. Don't be creepy, of course. If somebody pushes back, then simply, step back yourself. This is not about forcing something. This is not networking. This is not the card shove. It's none of that. Connecting is about being natural and organic about it. So if you like the idea, if this has been helpful for you, if this feels like very beginning information for you and it's a refresh, great. Do me a favor, do your friends a favor. If there's somebody who would find this of help and value to them, somebody who is less comfortable, perhaps less confident, perhaps newer to the connecting world, please go ahead and share that with them. I think of students and beginning careerists, people of changing careers, people who are shy, who say, yeah, I want to meet people, I just don't know how. Go ahead and share this with them. I appreciate it, and they'll appreciate it more because you're being a great friend connecting them to something that is a resource for them to help them grow. If this is new to you, then great. Take it, own it, adapt it so it fits you. Watch it again. It'll be recorded here on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it when you like. And you'll find that once you start doing this, you're going to want to keep going. You're going to want to keep trying and doing and so forth because there's always more opportunity for a connector. So I'm Ginger. I appreciate you joining me today on the launch of the first of the 5 days of the 5-Day Connecting Challenge. I'm not going to broadcast live 5 days, but I am going to, for the people who registered, they get an email every day and a bunch of resources and materials that can help them in their connecting endeavors. And if you like this, you can tune in for the following webinar in a couple weeks. If you're interested in registering for that, it's totally free. It's a good F word. And you can send me an email, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. That is a good F word, isn't it? It's right up there with food and fun. And filming. Yeah. So part of the new ground we're going to cover in 2 weeks too is a concept I call FUFT. Follow up and follow through. It's an essential element to being a really strong and healthy and capable, confident, comfortable connector. So again, if you want to register for that, you can join me, ginger@gingerjohnson.com. Some of you have given me questions and ideas to ponder as well, so thank you all for doing that. And if you are registered, and even if you're not, you're welcome to send those to me at my email, because if you're thinking about connecting and you have questions and quandaries about, how do I do this? And this is something I want to do, but I'm not sure how to do it. go ahead and send them to me. That's why I'm here. Keep them coming. I'll address them in future segments if I don't get to them today. So they're great topics, and some of them deserve their own episode. So that's another option. And for those of you who registered again, thanks. You're watching live. I appreciate it. I hope you're all comfortable with a cup of something of refreshment for yourself.
Do you want people asking questions on here?
They sure can. I don't know if I'll get to them today, but I'll get to them after the fact. So if they want to ask questions, go ahead. It's a really cool format on YouTube. So you'll also see a follow-up for those of you who are registered with this outline and details. So if that's of use, there you go. For everybody, I offer services on connectivity. This isn't a hard sell. It's just laying it out there if you're interested in a connecting coach, some speaking, training, things like that. You can reach out to me. You can find out more information at gingerjohnson.com. That's my website. It's got that full complement of all those good things. There's going to be a follow-up series to this too, so if you're interested in that, you can certainly tap me there. I'm also on Twitter at gingerjohnson.com. So it's gone 15 minutes. There's the clock. This has been the first episode of the 5-Day Connecting Challenge. I'm Ginger, your host and connectionist. We talked about making the first move, how to make contact in connectivity. I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, just a couple minutes, and we'll be back at 20 past the hour. My filmmaker's keeping me on track. And so if you're watching live, you can get up and do whatever you want, or you can sit and do whatever you want. I'm not in charge of you today. And for those of you in the studio audience, we're going to mill about for a couple minutes, and we'll be back with more connecting in a minute. If you're coming to this after the live recording, you can simply click on the next video in this series. It's the Why in the Road. So we'll see you soon. Thanks.